Just a reminder, everything else on the vehicle and for the mission was looking good today. It was just the weather, which, as John Aya said earlier, and Lauren even referred to him mentioning this, weather is the one thing that we actually cannot control on our missions. So unfortunately, it did cause us to scrub today, but the vehicles are healthy. Bob and Doug were ready. And they should be ready to go again with the next launch attempt on Saturday.
Thank you so much for joining us here on Weather Nation as we want to talk about that weather, the conditions that made the forecasters say, nope, we have to scrub this launch. And now joining us is Brian Cizik. He is with the Launch Weather Office with the 45th Weather Squadron. Brian, your team worked very, very closely on Wednesday. And what was it exactly that the criteria said, nope, we cannot let you launch today?
Sure. So I just want to emphasize, we were hoping for this launch just as much as everybody else. But it's also our job to make sure that these astronauts get to space safely. So obviously a lot of thunderstorm activity during the countdown and the lead up to 4:33 Eastern time. And we were hoping things were going to clear out. But unfortunately, there was an anvil cloud associated with some thunderstorms that was over the launch pad, and that was keeping some of our field mills elevated, which measure the amount of electricity, the electric charge in the atmosphere. And that anvil cloud, shooting the rocket through that, it just would not have been safe to launch those astronauts through that. The potential was there to actually trigger a lightning strike. So it was not safe to launch, unfortunately.
And now we are looking for that new window that's going to be on Saturday afternoon. What are some of the things you're looking most closely? Is it going to be some of the same conditions as we know with Florida? Those afternoon thunderstorms sometimes can just occur at the wrong time.
Yes, you're right. So Saturday, there's actually going to be a front starting to approach the area from the north, which is pretty late season. But you're right. Again, afternoon thunderstorms and flights again going to be the concern. So we're going to be tracking that, and hopefully we can get that window. The launch is a little earlier, which might help things a bit. Each day it does move a little bit earlier. So anyway, yes, those afternoon thunderstorms in Florida, that is again going to be the main concern for launch on Saturday.
And one of the things that makes this launch forecast different is instead of just putting a satellite, for example, up into space, you have people that are going to be on the spacecraft. So that also adds a whole different type of forecast that you have to include in addition to what the rocket is going to be going through in the atmosphere.
Exactly. We're not just monitoring the conditions at the launch area. We're also looking at those the conditions downrange, so where they're going to be doing the recovery. If the astronauts do have to eject the capsule off the rocket if there is some sort of issue, there are different locations where we're monitoring the weather out in the Atlantic Ocean to make sure that it will be safe for those rescue teams to go get the astronauts if they do have to, God forbid, have to pop the capsule off the rocket. So there's a lot of things that go into this. It's not just the weather at the launch facility. That is correct.
And with other types of launches, we normally could see a 1 to 2, sometimes even a 3-hour window. And this is a little different because your team has such a short time that they have to say yay or nay.
Yes, that is correct. It really is an instantaneous window, so it has to happen at that exact second, which makes things a little bit harder in terms of the weather. Actually, believe it or not, on launch day, had the launch been 20, 25 minutes later, we actually would have been able to give the go call that anvil cloud had cleared out of the area, the field mills had gone down. So if that window was a little bit longer, we would have been able to give the go on launch day. But again, yeah, that does make things a little bit more challenging in terms of the weather because you got to get it perfectly right at that exact moment.
Thank you so much, Brian Cizik, the Launch Weather Officer with the 45th Space Wing in Cape Canaveral, Florida. And if you want more information on the launch, we have an article up at weathernationtv.com. If you click on there, you can learn a little bit more about this historic launch and also get some behind-the-scenes footage.